Hello and welcome to Fairy Cat Designs. I'm Karen Henderson and today I'm sharing a little envelope album that I've made about my cat. It's his birthday on the 15th of April and I've got so many pictures of him. I'm also participating in the new at SU blog hop and it's all about flip-flaps this time, so it was the perfect project to do. I've used Notecard envelopes, but any envelopes would work. The principle of making this album is exactly the same. The first thing you need to do is fold the flap of the envelope back in the opposite direction to how you'd normally close an envelope. And I've used tear and tape along the two edges of the flap to seal them together. I haven't gone right to the crease because that allows a little bit of give for the depth and extra thickness of things that you might put in. So I've already started and I've got a few pages of my album ready to go. What you need to do is slot the flap into the envelope before. So it's going to sit like that, and the one at the front has its flap, just flapping for the moment, but we will attach that to a front cover in due course. So before I take the tear and tape off, I'm making sure that everything sits nice and squarely. And then I'm going to use a clip to make sure that everything's secure before I try and peel off the tear and tape. So I'm going to use my tweezers to try and help me get the tear and tape out. And I'm just keeping the envelope separate until I've got both pieces of tear and tape out. And then I can squeeze it together and my album is one page bigger. So as I said, this piece is going to be the front and I'm going to make a cover. I used the piece of backing card that came in with the designer series paper pack that I'm using, and I will show you how I made the back. And so this is the front. I've got white paper in white card in there, and I will attach that to the front of the album like that. And then when I open it, this piece can be hidden by adding another piece of either designer series paper or card, it's up to you. And then the back piece will slot onto the back, but I'm going to save doing that until I've decided how many pages I actually need. So to make the cover, I've made the piece of card from the backing from the designer series paper exactly the same size as the envelopes, and I've stuck it to the paper with just a little bit of a gap around it, and I took my bone folder around the edge of the card on top of my piercing mat, which is allowing me to crease the page, crease the designer series paper. Then you can fold it around to make a really tight fitting snug fit. You just want to cut a little piece of the corners off. So and then you can fold the paper around and make a really nice mitered cut. Mitered corner. So I did the top one, I did the long ones first. And then took my bone folder again to make sure that these pieces were creased. And then you can fold the sides in. And this will form the back. Right, I'm going to make some pages and stick some of my photos in, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. So I've got my front cover here, and I've put tear and tape on the front of the envelope's flap. And I'm going to attach that and remove the rest of the tape. So this is going to be my front. You've got a spine forming there, and you can add as many envelopes as you want. And then my album's going to open like this. Then I'm going to add a piece of black card that is slightly smaller than the front cover. Probably the size of the note cards would be a good measurement to use, and that neatens everything up. So now I've got my front 2 pages. Hello, I'm back with my completed album. As you can see, it's quite a chunky album, and I've managed to squeeze in all of the photos that I'd printed off. On my front cover, I've used just his name, and I used the mini alphabet dies and the note cards that came with the envelopes, and I put adhesive sheeting on the back, and this enabled me to make some stickers to make his name. On this one I actually doubled up, so they're 2 layers, so it's just a little bit thicker, and this was a picture taken by his foster family before we had him. On the first side I've used some more of the mini alphabet dies and these alphabet alamo dies that are currently on the retiring list. This photo is just stuck on the backing, and it's one of the first ones that we had when we brought him home. The next page, I've got a little title again, and I've used some Misty Moonlight card, and I've just made a concertina piece of card, so we've been going backwards and forwards to see him in all his boxes. And then I've used my first of the flip flaps. So I've just used the 3x4 size, and they're just tucked underneath the Misty Moonlight Designer Series paper. On the next page, I've got some more flip flaps. These ones are 3x4 ones that move upwards in the other orientation, and I've made a flap using Designer Series paper. I've just tucked that onto the open flap in the open gap in the envelope, and I can add some more pictures, or my plan is to write some journaling on this back piece. Turning over again, we've got some more flip flaps and then some photos straight on the envelope page. I've got another little concertina one that I've got here that's made out of card. And then on this one I've got one of the smaller 3x3 flaps, and they open out like that. So again, I can put some journaling behind, or I can add another picture in if I want to. Another flip flap again, just a regular 3x4 one. These photos are just stuck down onto the pages individually. Believe it or not, he's sitting on top of a roof here. Luckily my neighbour lives in a bungalow, so even though it was quite scary, but at least it was a single story house. And then I've got a layer of flip flaps here. He's watching me print the photos out here, and he thinks he's being helpful. So there, the flip flaps are layered up in size. And then I've got my back cover. The back cover just attaches to the back of the last envelope. And then the final thing I did was to squeeze the pages together and then add some black card along the spine. And again, I used the adhesive sheet, so that there's adhesive all the way around it, so that this piece sticks to the edges of the envelopes as well. So that's my little mini book. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.